If you had the option to restart your life from the beginning once you die, would you and why? I would love to restart my life over with the knowledge I had now because I know the biggest mistakes of my life and how to fix them. Who to never waste time with. Who is going to stand by me during the worst part of my life. Who is just hanging out with me cause I picked up the check. Who actually cares about me. Who I actually care about in the end. Don't forget about Bitcoin. Only problem there is, I was a child then, with no money. I would have to convince my tech-phobe dad to invest in it. Imagine a 5-year-old in early 2011, me, telling his dad, please daddy, buy me some Bitcoin for my birthday. Fast forward 10 years and things will have changed quite a bit. Truckers of Reddit, what are some less common road courtesies that we can offer to you to make your job safer and easier? My dad was a trucker for a while and would always complain about people who would pass just to get around him then slow down to a speed slower than he was going in the first place. I'm not a trucker and this is a daily problem for me. I'm always on cruise control and end up playing leapfrog with people. Cruise control just makes you realize how the vast majority of people cannot hold a constant speed. They just know they have to pass whatever is near them and then slow back down. We always flash our headlights to signal that it's safe for a truck to merge in front of us. They often reciprocate with a return flash of 4 ways as a thank you. Don't park in no parking zones. They may look like an empty spot marked off for no reason, but they are often there to give the trucker room to back in his very long trailer in what is probably already a tight space. If you park there, they can't get in. From back when I was driving, pass quickly and only on the left. If you camp out on my side, you're sitting next to tires that have a pressure of 100 pounds per square inch. Never had a tractor tire blow, but when the trailer tires went, it shakes the truck like a grenade went off. Boom. Don't sit there waiting for the grenade to go off. People who haven't pooped in 2019 yet, why are you still holding on to last year's poop? But when I finally do, it'll be the year's biggest poop so far. Somewhere out there, somebody has made the biggest poop of the year, and they don't even know it. I made my biggest poop of last year right in between Christmas and New Year's, first time I could say that I filled the bowl to the waterline. Fun fact, if you don't poop for long enough it will literally back up into your stomach and you will throw up poop and become septic. I knew a woman on methadone who became so constipated she stopped pooping and didn't do anything about it until she started vomiting up poop and almost died. I can't even imagine what the process of clearing 28 feet of mostly hard dried up poop from your intestines is like after that, if you survive. I didn't poop for a couple weeks a few months back. When I finally went to the hospital they gave me a pill to put up my butt and a jug of cherry-flavored laxative to chug. I lost 15 pounds. My therapist says it's because I have a hard time letting things go. People who quit their jobs on the first day, what was your I'm out of here moment? I used to work at a craft store as a cashier, but quit when I moved. Ended up going back a couple years later to make some extra cash, but this time in the framing department. During the interview they swore up and down I would only ever be a backup cashier because I said I refused to have full cashier shifts. First shift after interview is listed as framing, but I'm put on cash and told that actually most of my shifts would be cash since they'd found someone else for framing. I spent the next 6 hours giving everyone who came to my register 20% off of everything, and then never went back. I was 17 and working precast concrete. Refused to use a rusted to shit ladder. Supervisor called me a pussy, got up about 7 rungs before his foot went through one, heard his foot snap as he fell. I called an ambulance and walked to my car in the parking lot. On the first day of working at Amazon warehouse the managers broke down to everyone how a 15-minute break works there. Walking to the break room is 2.5 minutes, 10 minutes of actual break and then 2.5 minutes to go back to your stations. It took me 2.5 minutes to walk to my car and I took a forever break. When the microwave in the lunchroom was coin activated. What's the dumbest rule your school ever enforced? My school had 3 staircases along a very long corridor. We were banned from using the middle staircase because it got overcrowded. The ban was lifted once they realized it only made the other 2 staircases just as crowded. If you throw snowballs, you get a 1-day suspension. The first long weekend after a snowfall, everyone would throw snowballs to get an additional day added to the long weekend. We once had a rule that we could only go to the bathroom during class, not in the breaks, only during class. Girls were not allowed to wear cycling shorts under their PE skirts. They wanted us to wear these dark green PE pants, basically just underwear, and it was gross. My year protested. We said shorts or nothing and they backed off. This was 20+ years ago and it's totally different now. Girls wear what they want for PE. What was yours? Do comment below to let us know. What's the most fished up thing someone has told you about themselves after barely getting to know them? Visited a coffee shop for the first time on holiday. Barista commented on my tattoos. I said thank you. She told me she's not allowed to get tattoos but she cuts herself to enjoy the pain and that's nearly the same thing. I found a different coffee shop for the rest of the holiday. Chatted with a huge middle-aged dude in a bar once who after about 2 minutes, told me that he had been in prison for bashing his dad's head in with a hammer. His dad used to beat his mom and one day he'd had enough of it. I made the unfortunate mistake of inviting my old neighbor over when we were having a party. He had like 5 gins in my kitchen and confessed to an unsolved murder in Nunavut, Canada. He's in jail. Bartender for a while. I'm here to meet a man to cheat on my husband with. What are some skinny people problems? Sometimes in roller coasters you don't feel super secure in the harness or seat belt. We fit everywhere. As a construction worker it sucks. LMAO this. I'm always the guy to crawl into it, under, over. Oh, just stick your entire arm in this confined space and get your skinny wrist through this hole and then grab the thing. I like being helpful, but goddamn you get into some nasty spaces. Bumping into anything hurts 10 times worse. Bone doesn't cushion at all. I had a really skinny coworker once. He slipped and fell at work and people laughed until he didn't get up. Turns out this 22-year-old guy straight up broke his hip on the floor. You have to sit in the middle seat of the car during long trips. What were your problems that you face? Comment below. Spouses who married the cool girl boy from your high school, what are they like now? I told my wife there is a question on our Ask Her that she can't actually respond to. I think I broke her because she hasn't stopped laughing. Found out recently, 30 male, that my dad was extremely popular in high school from my aunt. I had no idea he was an all-star football player with lots of college offers and was prom and homecoming king. Never talks about it, but he's doing well. 2 kids, a dog, and a loving wife. In my opinion, he's still winning. My wife was the hot girl that everyone gossiped about. She's still super hot but is such a wonderful, supportive, loving person. It makes me sad no one took the time to get to really know her when she was young. Hey buddy, you did. That's all that matters. Hey, I rarely ask for this but please do consider subscribing to my channel if you find these entertaining. I'd greatly appreciate it. What is something you have always regretted doing? Dental hygiene. Had braces as a teen and neglected my teeth for the 20 years after except for yearly cleanings. Too many Mountain Dews and too many days of I'll just brush my teeth tomorrow turned into cavities and peeling enamel. You don't appreciate teeth not hurting until they are. Friend at school told me if I cut all my eyelashes off they would grow longer. They did not. Had a lump on my neck that ignored for a year. Ended up being stage 4 cancer. 13 years later and 4 times battle, I'm still fighting. Edit. I love you all for the immense love you have showed for this stranger. I promise you that I'm okay and undergoing immunotherapy that is easy as silk. I've been through hell but I'm here, strong and defiant. Thanks to love from strangers like you. What are the things you've regretted doing? Comment below. Americans have read it. What do you think about the metric system? Is it better or worse? I give it a 10 out of 10. Let me convert that to imperial for you guys. I give it a 16.9 out of 16.9. I'm a hobbyist woodworker. I use the metric system more often than imperial. I hate counting out how many 1/16 of an inch I'm looking at. Splitting things up into 10 ths makes more sense to me. Edit. I count the 16th because I don't use imperial enough to know all the fun tricks people have suggested. Metric is just so much easier. It's been at least a few years since I have relied on imperial. I like the metric system. The number of times I write down 1.5 feet and cut something at 1 foot 5 inches is too high. This reminds me of the Imperial March. What do you guys think? If you like these entries, please do like and consider subscribing to us and hit that bell notification icon. And we'll see you in the next one.